At the beginning of the story, we see a scientist named Martins who has arrived in a small town in Australia along with two other members of her team, Major Robert and Trini. They had received news that a highly dangerous type of fungus had been spotted in this area. It is said that years ago, a piece of a broken NASA satellite crashed here, and this fungus may have originated from it. After this, the three of them put on hazmat suits, turned on their body cameras, and began searching the entire area. When the group checked the whole place, they found 14 houses and 12 vehicles, but not a single person. Eventually, they found the tank. Martins noticed that the locals had tried to clean it using a liquid made from potatoes and soap. Then, using a magnifying glass, she examined the tank closely. After some inspection, she realized that the potato mixture had leaked into the tank, which had actually helped the fungus grow. With just a little water, the fungus could spread very rapidly. At that spot, Martins also noticed a green mark. She asked Robert to hold it so she could examine it more closely. Upon closer inspection, she concluded that the green fungus had mutated. Suddenly, the fungus started moving and lunged toward them, which scared Martins and made her step back immediately. At that moment, Trini announced that she had found a dead body. Martins quickly went over, but she didn't realize that a small amount of fungus had stuck to her shoe. The fungus slowly began destroying the sole of her boot and started entering her hazmat suit. On the rooftop, they found a corpse whose chest was badly torn open and its skull plates were shattered and separated. Robert looked around and discovered that most of the locals were lying dead on the rooftops of their houses, all with identical wounds. Martins then theorized that the fungus had forced them to climb onto the rooftops and made them wait there until their bodies burst, allowing the fungus to spread more easily. Suddenly, the dead man's head burst open, revealing fungus inside it. After that, Martins returned to the tank to collect samples. She explained that during re-entry, some fungus must have entered the tank shell, meaning a new species had formed. Once they collected the sample, the group prepared to leave. However, by then, the fungus had already entered Martin's body. She began to feel intense heat, soon became dizzy, and could barely walk. Suddenly, she vomited green fungus inside her helmet. Gradually, the fungus took control of her brain, and she kept repeating just one word: spread, spread. Martins then ran toward the vehicle. Seeing this, Trini quickly drew her gun, but as Martins drove the vehicle toward her, Robert pushed Trini aside. The vehicle hit Robert directly, severely injuring his back, leaving him unable to move. Martins then tried to snatch Trini's gun. Trini tried her best to stop her, but failed, and the gun ended up in Martins' hands. At that very moment, Martins briefly regained her senses and realized what she had done. She made a huge decision. She removed the air tube of her hazmat suit and fired the gun into it, sacrificing herself to stop the fungus from spreading further. A few hours later, the military arrived in the town to collect samples of the fungus. Once they were done, the entire town was blown up. The sample was then taken to a high-security facility in the United States and stored in cold storage. Over the years, the fungus was gradually forgotten. Now, the year is 2026. That place has been turned into a storage company. One morning, we see a man named Travis arriving for work, where his manager, Griffin, starts bothering him. Griffin wants Travis to help him with a plan to rob the building, but Travis refuses outright. Griffin threatens him, and eventually Travis reluctantly agrees, only to open the door for the gang. That evening, Mary arrives to check her storage unit. Travis is there and tries to talk to her, but she is in a hurry. When Travis walks her to the elevator, he hears a beeping sound, but assumes it's a minor technical issue. Inside her unit, Mary takes out a gun from her boot. She looks at a photo of her deceased husband and softly wishes him a happy anniversary. She intends to do something wrong, but cannot gather the courage. Meanwhile, Travis hears the beeping again and calls his new coworker Naomi on the radio. Naomi soon arrives in the lobby, but initially hears nothing. They chat briefly, and Naomi notices Travis's tattoo. Just then, Naomi receives a call, argues briefly, and hangs up. Soon after, she also hears the beeping sound. At the same time, in North Carolina, Robert receives a sudden call from the government. He reassures his wife that everything is fine, then opens a safe, takes out an old satellite phone, and contacts his former base. Abigail informs him that they've received an alert about a temperature anomaly. Robert becomes angry, saying the fungus is being underestimated and that he has seen how dangerous it truly is. Back at the facility, Travis and Naomi realize the beeping is coming from behind a wall. Naomi gets another call but ignores it, saying it's from her children's father. She suggests breaking the wall to investigate, but Travis refuses, not wanting to lose his job. Naomi deduces from his tattoo that he may have been in prison and keeps insisting until he finally agrees. Travis brings tools and creates a hole in the wall, revealing a hidden room with a large computer system. Naomi quickly identifies it as a temperature monitoring control panel. After breaking more of the wall, she joins Travis inside. He explains that the building was previously used by the military. They find a map on the wall, and Naomi takes a picture. Noticing lower levels, she wants to explore further, but Travis refuses again. After more persuasion, he angrily reveals that listening to others too much once landed him in prison. Naomi apologizes, but Travis realizes she might go alone, so he agrees to accompany her. They take the elevator down and find a hidden door inside a cabinet. Travis kicks it open, revealing another secret room. An alarm briefly sounds. Inside, they find old 1970s equipment and hazmat suits. At the end of the corridor, they find stairs leading about 500 feet down. They descend and reach a door labeled DTR Access Only. Though they don't know what DTR means, they open it. Inside is a sealed chamber with a large pipe carrying icy liquid. In one corner, they find rats covered in fungus, barely moving, their tails tangled together. Some are even eating each other. Suddenly, a rat jumps at Travis, and he steps back. Naomi looks through the chamber glass and sees fungus spread across the walls. Some fungus is also on the door. As she is about to touch it, Travis stops her. She mentions the door feels warm, and they decide to leave immediately. Outside, Mike parks his car angrily, hitting the steering wheel. He stares at his gun and calls Naomi, revealing he's the father of her children. When she doesn't answer, he leaves a voicemail, saying he's in serious trouble. Suddenly, he hears a noise from his trunk. He checks it and is startled to see movement. When he opens it, he finds a cat he thought was dead is actually alive. He apologizes before shooting it, but the cat turns, revealing half its face is gone due to fungus. The cat jumps out, vomits fungus, climbs onto the car roof, and reaches the antenna, which pierces its head. Its body explodes, splattering infected blood onto Mike and nearby deer. The fungus quickly spreads toward Mike's brain. He collapses, vomiting for several minutes, and then becomes controlled by the fungus, compelled to find more people, specifically Naomi. He grabs his gun and enters the building, followed by an injured deer. Meanwhile, Robert watches footage of Martin's death when Wesley, the new division leader, calls him. Wesley thinks Robert is overthinking a closed case and that it might just be a circuit issue. They argue briefly. Later, Abigail calls, saying she read the Australia report and supports Robert. He instructs her regarding Item 7. Back at the facility, Travis and Naomi search DTR online and learn it stands for Defense Threat Reduction Agency. When they exit, they are shocked to see a deer entering the elevator. A flashback reveals how the fungus escaped years ago, through a hole, infecting a cockroach, then a rat, eventually reaching the road where Mike's car spread it further. In the present, Travis and Naomi run to the lobby but encounter the deer. It charges at them, but Naomi pulls Travis aside just in time as the deer explodes, its antlers embedding into the wall. Mike emerges from the elevator, screaming that he shot his parents' cat, which somehow came back to life. He demands they open their mouths so he can vomit into them. Terrified, Travis and Naomi run as Mike fires at them. Mary wakes up from the gunshots. Travis and Naomi hide in a storage unit, struggling with a jammed door. Mike passes by without noticing them, but a dropped flashlight nearly gives them away. Travis pulls it in just in time. Later, Mike returns and tries to grab them through the door. They force it shut, injuring his hand. Naomi searches online for help. At the airport, Trini picks up Robert and Abigail connects him to Naomi, who explains everything while Mike bangs on the door. Robert realizes the fungus has evolved. He instructs them not to touch anything, to stay hidden, and not to tell anyone else. Meanwhile, Griffin arrives with his gang to rob the storage facility. They see the exploded deer corpse. Griffin threatens Travis over the radio. Robert and Trini retrieve item 7 from a house, revealed to be Trini's son's home. She reassures him and leaves. Robert scolds her for keeping such dangerous items at home, but she brushes it off. Robert later explains that rain could accelerate the fungus spread and requests satellite access. Abigail works to secure it. Back inside, Travis wants to leave, but Naomi insists it's more dangerous outside. They argue, and Travis wins. They leave the unit. They see Mike further deteriorated. He infects some thieves by vomiting fungus on them and locks them in. He then chases Travis and Naomi, but Mary shoots him, causing his body to explode. Travis hears Griffin and leads Mary toward the stairs. She gives him her gun. Griffin and Friedman search for Travis. Outside, thieves leave with stolen TVs. Travis confronts Griffin, warning him to stay away from Mike's body. Meanwhile, infected thieves begin attacking the door. Griffin insists on opening it. During a struggle, he accidentally shoots Travis in the hand. Naomi uses a fire extinguisher to create a smokescreen, allowing them to escape. Friedman, fed up with Griffin, confronts him but gets punched. Griffin retrieves a key and opens the unit, only to be horrified by what he sees. Friedman slips in blood, gets infected, and turns. Inside, an infected thief explodes. Outside, Travis and Naomi meet Robert. Abigail confirms they are not infected. Robert gives them hazmat suits and guns, instructing them to place item 7, a bomb, inside. Though hesitant, Travis agrees. Robert stays outside to handle any infected escaping. Travis and Naomi enter with the bomb. Robert disables vehicles to prevent escape. Abigail alerts him of a heat signature, Friedman, whom Robert shoots, but he injures his back in the process. Inside, Griffin hears explosions. Travis and Naomi reach the chamber and see the fungus spreading further. If it reaches the pipe, the situation will worsen. They place the bomb, but discover the timer is already set. Only 6 minutes remain. They run as the countdown accelerates due to a glitch. Outside, Fungus approaches Robert. Griffin pushes an infected toward him, and Robert shoots it. Griffin tries to attack, but retreats. Suddenly, an infected body rises and speaks, terrifying Griffin, who shoots it and runs. As Griffin aims at Robert, Trini arrives and kills him. Inside, one last infected blocks Travis and Naomi. Naomi shoots it and they escape. Trini raises her gun, but Robert confirms they are safe. They help Robert into the vehicle and drive away. Moments later, a massive explosion erupts, tearing the ground apart. Naomi speeds the car, narrowly escaping falling debris. Finally, the explosions stop, and they are safe. If you liked the video, give it a like and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.